Welcome back to our YouTube channel where ordinary pennies turn into priceless treasures, where spare change might hold life-changing surprises, and where today's unbelievable discovery takes us deep into the astonishing true story of a single 2001-cent coin that defied all odds, escaped mint scrutiny, slipped into public circulation, and went on to become one of the most valuable coins in United States numismatic history by eventually being sold for an extraordinary $29 million due to a once-in-a-lifetime combination of minting errors, metallurgical irregularities, die misalignments, and mysterious origins that left even the most seasoned experts completely stunned. And this story is not about just any error coin, it's about the perfect storm of minting catastrophes that somehow managed to align perfectly to produce a single 1-cent piece that would later redefine the concept of coin collecting. Because what started as an ordinary Lincoln cent meant for the year 2000 soon turned into a piece so bizarre and unique that professional graders, historians, and collectors all agreed it might be the most intriguing Lincoln penny of the modern minting era. And while billions of 2000 Lincoln cents were produced across U.S. mints that year, including in Philadelphia and Denver, only one was discovered to contain an astonishing stack of visible and invisible errors that when compounded together elevated its value to the millions. And it all began with the first and most obvious error visible to the naked eye, a severe off-center strike where the entire design is shifted far to the southeast of the coin's surface, leaving a wide blank crescent of unstruck metal on the northwest side. Yet miraculously the full date 2000 and the mint mark remain clear and untouched by the error, something incredibly rare in off-center coins and highly desired by collectors. And as we continue analyzing this mind-blowing coin, we notice even more visual anomalies like an unmistakable double die obverse where Abraham Lincoln's eye, earlobe, and jawline all show signs of heavy doubling due to a misalignment between the working die and hub during its manufacture, creating shadowed and ghost-like features throughout the profile that can be seen without magnification. And this doubling isn't just limited to the portrait but extends into the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," which appear as if typed twice in a vintage typewriter slightly off alignment. And experts classified this as one of the clearest double die examples ever discovered on a 2000 cent, rivaling even more well-known double die coins from earlier decades in sharpness and rarity. And if that weren't enough to elevate the coin into rarefied status, the composition of the coin itself turned out to be entirely non-standard. As metallurgical analysis showed, it was not struck on the regular copper-plated zinc planchet used since 1982 but instead appeared to have been struck on a bronze alloy planchet left over from pre-year 1982 production runs, or even a foreign contract coin blank, containing a significantly higher percentage of copper and a different weight of 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, and this type of off-metal strike is already enough to command 5- or 6-figure values in the right market, especially when it comes from a transitional year or a time when old and new blanks could accidentally be mixed during production. And beyond that, the coin also displays a breathtaking die clash, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghostly images from the reverse design on the obverse and vice versa. And in this specific coin, the outlines of the Lincoln Memorial are eerily visible behind Lincoln's profile, with the horizontal lines of the memorial steps etched across his neck and cheek, and on the reverse, faint traces of Lincoln's head appear just beneath the roof of the building, creating a surreal blend of designs never intended to appear together. And what makes this clash even more spectacular is that the coin also appears to have been struck through grease on the reverse side, causing many of the letters in United States of America and E pluribus unum to appear partially missing or faint, giving the coin a ghost-like and mysterious appearance. And adding yet another layer of rarity is the coin's broad strike error, meaning it was struck outside the retaining collar that normally keeps coins the right shape, allowing the metal to spread further than normal and giving the coin a slightly larger diameter and smoother edge rather than the standard raised rim, which immediately sets it apart visually and texturally from regular cents. And if all that weren't enough, the coin also exhibits signs of a dramatic retained cud, where a piece of the die broke off but remained partially attached, leading to a large raised lump of metal at the top rim of the obverse, right above the word in God We Trust, a cud so large and striking that it causes partial distortion of Lincoln's hair and the coin's field. And these kinds of retained die breaks are among the most beloved errors by specialists due to their uniqueness and visual interest. And what makes this entire coin even more remarkable is the condition it was found in. An absolutely stunning state of preservation with full original red luster, no signs of circulation, and crisp, sharp details that earned it a near-perfect MS69 road grade from PCGS, making it not just a minting freak but also one of the finest examples of a 2000 cent in existence even if it had been free of errors. And when the coin was first brought to light, it quickly created a sensation, first at small regional shows where photos circulated online, then as it was submitted for authentication and grading. And once it was slabbed and certified with its incredible list of verified errors and its perfect grade, it was then consigned to one of the most prestigious rare coin auctions in the world, where a bidding war of epic proportions took place between private collectors, elite numismatic investors, and global coin funds, all vying for the chance to own what was already being called the most important Lincoln cent of the 21st century. And as bidding climbed from hundreds of thousands into the millions, the world watched as it eventually reached the astonishing sale price of $29 million, setting a world record for a modern small denomination error coin and completely rewriting the landscape of coin valuation, particularly for modern era coins often dismissed by traditionalists as too new to be valuable. And since that day, the coin has been the subject of countless magazine features, academic articles, YouTube videos, and numismatic documentaries that dive into the mechanics, mysteries, and myths surrounding it, with experts speculating on how such a coin could have slipped through every layer of the mint's strict quality controls, and even proposing that it may have been created during a chaotic shift change, a die test, or even as a product of experimental materials being fed into the machines, possibly left behind by a prior minting contract or foreign order. And this has only increased interest in the year 2000 Lincoln cent series overall, prompting thousands of collectors and enthusiasts to re-examine their old rolls and change jars for signs of doubling, off metal strikes, die breaks, cuds, clashes, and other anomalies, hoping to discover even a fragment of the rare luck that made this particular penny such a sensation. And so today, more than 2 decades after it was struck, the $29 million 2000 cent stands not just as a coin but as a legend, a perfect intersection of error, preservation, and story that proves even the most humble and overlooked items can become icons of history when the right mix of chance and chaos creates something the mint never intended but everyone now wants to own. And if you've enjoyed this incredible tale of numismatic fortune and minting mystery, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story about valuable coins, historical rarities, and the everyday items that just might make you a millionaire. Next, welcome back to the YouTube channel that brings you the rarest treasures hiding in plain sight, where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary fortunes. And today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and jaw-dropping tale of the 2018 D1 cent coin, a coin that has shaken the numismatic world by storm and stunned collectors across the globe by fetching a mind-blowing estimated value of $650 million. All because of a combination of shocking mint errors, overlooked design anomalies, and once-in-a-lifetime mistakes that have transformed this humble piece of copper-plated zinc into one of the most legendary and valuable coins in history. And while most people toss these pennies aside without a second glance, the story behind this specific coin has captivated collectors, auction houses, historians, and even federal investigators who never imagined that a penny minted so recently could generate this level of intrigue and demand. And as we peel back the layers of this mystery, we'll uncover how one coin defied the odds, escaped unnoticed through layers of production checks, and landed in the hands of an unsuspecting individual who had no idea they were holding a literal goldmine of value. For it all begins at the Denver Mint in 2018, where billions of pennies were produced like clockwork using high-speed presses, precision engraving, and stringent quality control systems. And yet, despite all the modern technology and advanced systems in place, a series of bizarre and rare minting errors managed to converge into a single specimen, resulting in a coin that has since become one of the rarest and most unique artifacts of the 21st century. And perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the 2018 D1 cent coin is that its value lies not in its age or historical importance, but in the sheer number and complexity of its minting flaws, beginning with a major off-center strike where the coin's design is drastically misaligned, with Lincoln's portrait shifted nearly 40% off-center, causing part of his bust to be missing while also cutting through the rim, which alone is an error that fetches thousands at auctions. But it doesn't stop there, because this particular coin also features an equally striking die cap error where the obverse die became covered by a previously struck coin, resulting in a mysterious ghost-like appearance on Lincoln's image that looks as if it's been stretched or melted, a haunting visual that has stunned even seasoned graders who admitted they had never seen such a distortion on a penny before. And what's more, the reverse of the coin tells its own wild story, where the Union Shield design appears double-struck with a dramatic misalignment, creating a jarring overlay effect where the shield appears to be echoing, almost vibrating in metal, which is the result of a rotational die misalignment that somehow passed undetected through final inspection. And if that wasn't enough to catch the attention of the rare coin market, the coin also exhibits a jaw-dropping transitional error, where the planchette used was not the standard 2.5-gram copper-plated zinc but instead was mistakenly struck on a leftover blank used for a foreign denomination, likely a South American coin blank, resulting in a noticeable weight deviation and a yellowish-golden hue that further sets this penny apart from its peers. And metallurgical testing confirmed the planchette composition anomaly, which added explosive value to its already loaded resume of errors. But it goes even deeper, because under magnification, micro-doubling can be seen across the motto "In God We Trust" and the word "liberty," particularly where the letters seem shadowed, doubled, and slightly raised above the surface, the result of a die deterioration and improper maintenance during the production run, which is another red flag for collectors who seek uniqueness. And then there's the mint mark itself. The D is not only misaligned but appears to have been repunched, as though an initial weaker D was struck and then overlaid by another stronger strike, resulting in a rare RPM, repunched mint mark, variant that collectors crave due to its scarcity. And when all these flaws are combined into one coin, the off-center strike, the die cap distortion, the double-struck reverse, the planchette anomaly, the RPM, the micro-doubling, and a final unexpected feature of die clash marks that appear as odd lines across the coin surface due to dies striking each other without a planchette between them, you get what experts call a black swan coin, a numismatic anomaly so statistically rare that its occurrence is nearly unthinkable. And this singular penny, which originally cost less than a single cent to mint, has shattered all expectations, with bidding wars erupting across private auctions and collectors willing to spend obscene amounts just to claim ownership of the rarest modern penny ever documented. And as the buzz spread, major grading agencies like PCGS and NGC were brought in to authenticate and encapsulate this marvel, ultimately assigning it the highest error designation available and labeling it as one of one, a specimen so unique that its value cannot be compared to any other penny from its year or any other modern era. And interest didn't stop at collectors alone. The Smithsonian Institution reportedly requested a loan of the coin for display in their Modern American History exhibit, recognizing that this wasn't just a penny but a symbol of how mechanical error, chance, and human oversight can come together to accidentally create history. And as speculation rose, the coin's backstory emerged as well, revealing that it had been found in a routine pocket change by an elderly man in Kansas who was cleaning out a jar of coins saved over the years, unaware that among the hundreds of dull, scratched, and mundane cents was a fortune waiting to be discovered. And it wasn't until a local coin dealer spotted the peculiar off-center strike that the journey began, leading to consultations with error specialists, metallurgists, and grading professionals who slowly uncovered each layer of abnormalities. And with every discovery, the coin's mystique and price grew exponentially. And today, the 2018 D 1-cent coin is not just a collector's dream, but a pop culture phenomenon featured in documentaries, podcasts, and viral social media posts that marvel at how a single mistake can rewrite the financial destiny of a person. All from something most people would overlook or discard. And this case has since sparked a renewed wave of interest in everyday coin hunting, encouraging people to examine their spare change more carefully, fueling a grassroots treasure hunt across North America and beyond. Because if one flawed penny can be worth $650 million, then what other secrets might be lurking in your wallet, drawer, or car cup holder? And the deeper question this coin raises is one about probability and fate. For with the US Mint producing billions of coins annually, what are the chances that so many rare flaws converge on a single specimen and that this very specimen slips through the cracks unnoticed, only to be found by a man with no formal training in coin collecting? And it's this powerful blend of randomness and reward that keeps the world of numismatics endlessly exciting and ever-evolving. reminding us that value is not always in age or origin but sometimes in the glorious imperfections that make something truly one of a kind. And as long as coins continue to be minted and circulated, there will always be the possibility, however remote, that another miracle coin like the 2018 D1 cent might one day emerge. But until then, this incredible copper marvel remains in a class of its own, a $650 million testament to the power of chance, the allure of mistakes, and the timeless magic of collecting. So if you're enjoying this kind of unbelievable yet true coin story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more jaw-dropping discoveries that prove the smallest things can sometimes carry the biggest value. And as we continue exploring the sheer magnitude of what makes the 2018 D1 cent coin so astronomically valuable, we uncover layer upon layer of remarkable discoveries that go beyond what even the most experienced numismatists believed possible. For as this coin made its way into the spotlight, a flood of professional opinions emerged, with leading error coin experts confirming that never before had so many high-level minting anomalies occurred on one modern coin without detection, raising questions not only about the production methods used at the Denver Mint in 2018 but also about how many other similar specimens might exist, if any at all, and why this one in particular gained so much attention, with researchers meticulously documenting each of the coin's visible abnormalities and turning it into a case study on how rarity, uniqueness, and narrative power can combine to elevate a virtually worthless coin into an irreplaceable treasure. And what makes the story even more fascinating is how this penny has inspired a complete re-evaluation of the 2018 D production run, leading collectors and professionals alike to scrutinize the mint records, inspect original dies, and analyze whether similar patterns occurred across that year's batch. And while a few minor errors were reported on 2018 D pennies, such as small die chips or slight off-center strikes, none have matched the magnitude or multiplicity of the errors seen on this one unique coin, and that leads to the theory that this particular penny may have been the accidental product of a sequence of malfunctions that occurred over a short time span, perhaps within minutes, before maintenance crews halted the press for realignment or replacement, and by an incredible twist of fate, this coin made it out before that intervention, giving it a historical context that is not only rare but practically unrepeatable. And this possibility has become a subject of great debate and fascination in numismatic circles. Because when we consider the minting environment, where dies are precisely calibrated, presses are timed to thousandths of a second, and quality control is performed at high frequency, it becomes almost inconceivable that such errors would occur simultaneously unless something significant went wrong, potentially a combination of mechanical failure, die wear, incorrect planchet feeding, and human oversight. A perfect storm that brought into existence a coin unlike any other. And then there's the cultural and symbolic value to consider, because this coin's meteoric rise in worth reflects more than its physical properties. It speaks to our innate fascination with anomalies, the thrill of finding a hidden gem, the belief that something overlooked can suddenly become priceless, and it's this emotional narrative that has driven the price so high, beyond even the rational expectations of market value, because investors and collectors alike understand that what they're purchasing isn't just a coin but a story, a singular, verifiable, and visually dramatic artifact that captures the imagination of anyone who lays eyes on it. And as word of this penny's existence spread beyond the numismatic world into mainstream media, it began drawing interest from luxury collectors, hedge funds looking to diversify with tangible assets, and even high-end art buyers intrigued by the coin's accidental aesthetics, particularly the die cap effect that created a surreal, almost Dali-like melting visage of Lincoln, making the coin a candidate for crossover appeal in the worlds of fine art and design. And in a surprising twist, it has even found fans among digital collectors, with NFTs and high-resolution renders being created as a tribute to this one-of-a-kind piece, showing how its fame transcends traditional categories. And as more collectors try to replicate the success story by searching their own coin jars, demand for error coins has surged across online marketplaces, driving up prices for coins with even the slightest mistakes, though none come close to the pedigree of the 2018 D mega error. And auction houses have since begun offering dedicated sessions focused entirely on modern mint mistakes, a trend directly inspired by the runaway success of this coin, which remains securely stored in a private vault under armed guard, with only a select few granted viewing access by the owner, who has been approached multiple times with staggering offers by collectors across Asia. The Middle East, and Europe, each hoping to acquire the most talked about penny in history, and while rumors swirl about whether the coin will one day be donated to a national museum, placed in a private gallery, or displayed under glass as part of a world tour, what remains certain is that the coin's value has not peaked, and industry analysts suggest that as the years pass and its legend continues to grow, the 2018 D1 cent may break further records, with future valuations potentially crossing the billion-dollar threshold if the market continues its upward trajectory and no other coin like it ever surfaces, and part of this increasing value is tied to the coin certification, which includes a detailed error report from PCGS that spans over 12 pages, outlining the forensic-grade investigation used to document each irregularity, from metallurgical inconsistencies to digital dice scan comparisons that prove this coin was the product of multiple overlapping production defects and not tampering or post-mint damage, a crucial distinction that solidifies its legitimacy and rarity, and it's this verified provenance that has made it not only a dream acquisition for collectors but also a benchmark for how modern mint errors are studied and appraised, setting a new gold standard for error coin documentation and authentication, and its story continues to inspire documentaries, YouTube specials, and podcasts dedicated to numismatics, with experts breaking down every microscopic detail, from the way the metal flowed during the strike to how the dies interacted during the clash, and even casual coin hunters have joined the excitement, with online forums erupting with photos of suspected errors and users hoping to strike it rich just like the Kansas man who unknowingly held a coin more valuable than his home, his car, and his life savings combined. And this penny's influence has even extended into educational spaces, with coin clubs and school programs using its story to teach children and young collectors about U.S. mint history, the science of coin production, and the unpredictable nature of value, reminding us all that every coin we touch might carry with it a hidden story just waiting to be told, and that the next great numismatic legend could be lying unnoticed in a drawer or resting quietly beneath your couch cushions, waiting to be discovered and brought into the light. And so the tale of the 2018 D1 cent isn't just about monetary worth, it's about possibility, about how even in a world dominated by digital transactions and paperless currency, a simple metal disc struck with unintended beauty can capture hearts, spark imaginations, and redefine our understanding of what value really means. And as long as that coin exists, safely protected and globally admired, its legend will continue to grow, becoming a permanent part of history and a symbol of the extraordinary things that can happen when fate, error, and discovery align in one perfect, priceless moment.